This summer, I will be an intern with Southern Housing Group. Southern Housing Group is a not for profit housing association that currently serves over 72,000 people in the southeast region of England. Southern Housing Group provides many resources to residents along with housing. When an English philanthropist died in 1901, he left an endowment equivalent to £30 million when adjusted for inflation to create a charitable trust that has evolved into what is currently Southern Housing Group. The trust was intended to provide housing for the working poor, and its first properties were complete in Islington, London. These are the first properties built by the trust throughout the early 20th century. In 2001, the Trust changed its name to Southern Housing Group to reflect the changing nature and scope of the organization. Then, in 2010, Southern Housing Group Limited, James Butcher Housing Association Limited, and South White Housing Association Limited combined into one organization, Southern Housing Group Limited. Across the southeast of England, the association is based out of these areas. I will specifically be working with residents in their housing in Brighton. Southern Housing Group offers social rent, which is traditional social housing, the majority of housing offered by Southern Housing Group, supported housing for anyone living on an island with a care and support need, including people with mental or physical disability, affordable intermediate market and private rent, shared ownership, which allows customers to buy between 25% to 70% of a new home through a traditional mortgage and pay a subsidized rent on what isn't owned, and private sale. I'll be working at one of Southern Housing Group's sheltered housing schemes in Brighton. Sheltered housing schemes are essentially retirement housing for residents over 60 years of age. With age comes social isolation, a major problem in England and other developed countries. As an intern, I expect to be combating social isolation on an individual level by spending time with residents at Southern Housing Group's sheltered housing schemes in Brighton. Some services provided for sheltered housing customers include help with organizing repairs and improvements to tenants' homes, advice on managing tenancy, help with accessing local services and relevant providers, financial guidance, accessing benefits, applying for grants, and dealing with debt, help with social activities, and engaging with the community. Who is impacted? Southern Housing Group in Brighton. According to Southern Housing Group, about 811 tenants are female and 700 are male. The majority are between the ages of 46 to above 65. Housing associations in the UK have had a long history. Modern housing associations have been empowered by the Housing Act of 1974, an act that provided funding for housing associations. With more social housing created, housing associations began to take on a more influential role in communities. Housing associations filled roles that local governments could not, especially in times of inadequate housing and a general lack of it. However, there is a shortage of social housing in the UK, and research by Heriot-Watt University says England has a backlog of 3.91 million homes, meaning 340,000 new homes need to be built each year until 2031. There are many problems that come with the lack of housing, but the most important are the spiraling housing costs that create an affordability problem, which leads to families struggling to meet housing costs. When families cannot meet housing costs, they're at risk of evictions and homelessness. My discussion question for you is, what methods can the UK borrow from other countries to effectively address their social housing crisis?